Hi, everyone. Thank you for listening to Horror and Heels. If you're wondering how we're making this podcast, we're doing it through Anchor. You can go to Anchor FM to get started. It's free. They have creation tools that allow you to do it right on your phone or your computer. I edit. I'm actually recording this while I'm in my car waiting to go to my next client. They make life so easy. They even distribute your podcast for you. You can be heard on Spotify, Apple, other sites. It helps you upload if you want to make a Patreon or anything. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. I know zero about formatting and doing this and that and the other thing, and Anchor makes it so easy. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. If you want to learn more, go to the Anchor app or anchorfm.com to get started. Thank you and have a great day. And Heels, as always, I'm Alicia.
I'm Jen.
And today we have a guest. We always have a guest. Today we have a guest. And Jen, why don't you go ahead and introduce our guest? Because once again, you booked him because you're cool and know everybody, and I don't. So go ahead.
Well, let's see. I'm going to introduce him by telling you how I met him. I don't even know if he remembers. Like, you may have just been being nice that I messaged you. But we were at Backstage Bar in Culver City. And I think your brother was there, Caleb, right?
I remember this, yep.
Yeah, so we're talking, and he's talking about this movie that he made that just came out, and it's on Netflix. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, I think we were talking about horror movies. And he's like, yeah, I made this movie called Thankskilling. And I was like, what? And then I went home and I saw it, and it was on Netflix. I will admit, I didn't watch it yet, but I was like, that's super cool. He made this awesome movie. So this is Jordan Downey, the writer-director of Thankskilling, the mastermind behind the movie.
Thank you guys for having me. I think, I could be wrong, but I think that the reason we were there was because I think we were filming Thankskilling 3 around that time.
Oh.
And some of the cast might have been with us. Because they were in town and they were like, oh, let's go somewhere. And we lived very close to Backstage. So we just ended up down there. And because you're right, my brother was there.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that there was also some of the Thankskilling, at least maybe some of the people involved might have been there as well.
That's awesome. I do remember, it might have been late. I think it was late because I think we had wandered in like close to closing time or something. And me, my friend, and Caleb ended up sitting at a table.
And may I ask, what is closing time in...
Oh, God. It's like 1:30, 2 a.m.
Yeah, late, yeah.
You're funny. Long Island, it's 4 a.m.
Yeah, I know. It's really stupid out here.
That's why I had to ask. So, Jordan, as we kind of start every episode, what are you sipping on this evening?
I have an iced coffee. It looks like you guys have gone a little.
There's nothing in that?
No, there's nothing in it. Maybe
in your notes you have to drink that. No, I'm kidding. That is not a rule. We don't force alcoholism on people. But yes,
we keep it to ourselves.
I'm a Long Islander, and I try to find local things near to us. In New York, we have 9/11. The Beacon Skiff Apple Orchard, and they make a cider donut hard cider. That's fantastic.
Cider donut hard cider.
Is so good. Have you ever had an apple cider donut?
No.
Like an actual donut or the drink version of?
No, a donut. Like the actual.
Yeah.
So this has like a very cinnamony taste to it. It's fantastic. And I'm spilling it on me, which is great.
That's awesome.
Liquid
donut. I did not know that was an option. I probably would have.
Liquid form.
You should have known. And Jen, what about you?
Oh, I'm drinking Truly lemonade. It's really the only version of Truly I like. If we're going for just regular hard seltzer, I'm basic and I'll go White Claw or Corona. Corona is actually pretty good.
I'm not a fan of the hard ciders. I don't like anything artificially sweetened. If I'm gonna go that route, I'll just throw some vodka and some seltzer.
Yeah.
It's up there with like the Mike's Hard lemonades to me. They all got that And anything diet, it's all got that weird aftertaste to me that I'm not a fan of.
Yeah, it totally does. I was just like, oh, low sugar, yay. So I just handled it. And it's alcohol. I won't do it in a regular drink, but since I'm like, at least I'm getting something out of it, so.
Yeah. But low sugar as I sit here with a whole bag of M&Ms. Yeah, I'm really trying. And since we are talking about a Thanksgiving movie, Jordan, what is your favorite Thanksgiving side dish? And I will let you know that green bean casserole is the wrong answer. Don't give that one.
I do like green bean casserole, but I would not have said that. I'd have to go mashed potatoes as a side dish. Or, I mean, I guess it would probably be between that or stuffing.
Okay.
Any of the traditional, nothing funky. Straight up Thanksgiving is good for me. I don't need anything special.
Do you guys do mac and cheese for Thanksgiving? Because I'm trying to.
Oh, well, I was going to say that would count. I would say it's come and gone over the years.
Yeah.
We do it sometimes. I don't think we'll do it. There's only 6 of us. So I try to do things we don't have typically outside of mashed potatoes. But I want my other sides to be things I don't have all year. So like corn pudding is like a family favorite.
Oh yeah, cornbread is it, or not cornbread, but like baked corn is that another term? Yes, yeah, I love that.
Exactly. Yeah. So I love the sweet potatoes with the marshmallows. My son enjoys just the marshmallow portion.
He's like, scrape that off for me.
He's like, this is fantastic. And what about you, Jen? Clearly by your face, not green bean casserole.
I don't like green beans, so in a casserole form, it's really not.
I really feel like on Thanksgiving, we throw out that green bean casserole to be like, look, vegetables!
There you go, makes it healthy. No, mine's mac and cheese. I make the mac and cheese. It's my favorite. I could eat that. I love it.
I love mac and cheese, but I make mac and cheese a lot. I even made mac and cheese for my own baby shower because I love it so much.
That is understandable.
Okay, so let's get into the movie.
Yes.
Jen, like you said, it's called Thankskilling. You can watch on Amazon Prime, Tubi, Vudu.
Yes.
I'm sure others, but I watched on Amazon Prime. And so, Jordan, talk to us. What was the impetus for?
He's already laughing. He's like, I don't.
I'm sorry, Jordan. This is. I mean, this was just the funniest. You put it on the poster for the movie, so this is the funniest low budget shit I've ever seen in my entire life. And I have some questions about the budget. We will get into that, Jordan. We will.
Sure.
So you wrote it, correct?
With Kevin Stewart, and there was a few other friends that we were in college with at the time that also did a pass on gave us some jokes for it. So there's a bunch of writers.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much weed was smoked before those joke passes were passed around? I just want to know.
Yeah, I can't speak for everyone else, but honestly, no, I was totally. This was a very sober experience.
Okay, for us. I respect it.
Yeah,
I didn't see that answer coming, but I respect it.
We did have in the movie. They have like the beers at the campfire, and we had to keep lugging around this case of prop beers. And so then, as it went on, there was one night that we did have a few of those, but no, it was as sober as it could be, which maybe makes it even weirder that we would come up with that, right?
A little bit.
Okay, I need to know exactly how this did come about. Like, what was what were you guys like? Oh my God, wouldn't it be cool if, or funny, or whatever?
Well, it was kind of a wouldn't it be cool if moment, but it was more just about we were in college. We were 19 years old. Me and Kevin were roommates, and we were making student films and short films and as just part of film school, of course. And
which college? Just so everyone knows.
We went to Loyola Marymount University in Los Angeles. So that's where we met, became friends, and started working together on different projects. And so, we were constantly just working as crew members, whether camera, grip, lighting, whatever, on other student films. and there's a lot of downtime and a lot of late nights, which leads to a lot of joking and being silly and hanging out. And long story short, we both just liked the idea of making a feature film. That seemed like a huge challenge to us at that time when you're just, a teenager and wanting to make movies. Making a feature was the ultimate sort of goal and accomplishment in our minds. So it started with us just saying, let's go make a feature. I'm originally from Ohio, so I think we both kind of were just like, all right, well, let's make something that could be shot back in Ohio, and we'll use what family and props and locations that I had access to. And it wasn't very long. I mean, it's not like we never considered making a drama or a romantic comedy or an action film or anything. We immediately started zeroing in on, let's go make a quote unquote so bad it's good horror film, where the budget we could sort of use to our advantage and let the cheapness of it be part of the joke. And we thought, I mean, I loved these kinds of movies growing up. This is the stuff I would watch and rent. Would be those, especially the holiday ones like Jack Frost, the Snowman, Uncle Sam, the sort of underrated 4th of July one, the Leprechaun.
That down.
Yeah, exactly. The Leprechaun films, all of what are the other classics? I mean, of course, there's Halloween and Black Christmas and the bigger ones, but I loved the cheesy ones.
Yeah.
We realized there had not been a Thanksgiving one or an Easter one. Those were the two holidays that we were kind of considering. It was Thanksgiving or Easter. And we just thought very quickly, we're like, well, it's going to be a lot funnier to have a talking turkey, I think, than a talking Easter bunny. And we came up with the line, gobble, gobble, motherfucker. I can still picture, like, we were just standing in our apartment kitchen and we were like, what if the turkey talks and it's kind of South Park-like and he kind of talks like Cartman and Freddy Krueger combined and has this potty mouth, but he's kind of mean-spirited about it. And what if he would say, gobble, gobble, motherfucker? And we were in tears. We were laughing so hard. And so really it started with that. It started with want to make a feature film. Let's make a holiday feature.
I was not expecting the turkey.
I know, me either.
Yeah.
Goes to the Pilgrim woman. Nice tits, bitch. I'm like, what the fuck is happening now?
I'm like, that's when you know what you're in for.
And it's your voice, Jordan, right?
It's my voice, which wasn't the plan. Yeah, it is my voice.
And the budget was $3,500. You couldn't afford a voice actress. Move on.
Exactly.
It worked. So that's one of my questions about the budget. So the people who played in the roles, they were friends, family members, like you didn't. Because I was trying to do the math in my head. I saw the budget is $3,500 on Wiki. I'm not sure that's accurate. Was that accurate on Wiki?
Yes, that's accurate.
Okay. Because in my head, I was like, even if you paid each actor $100, you're still at close to $2,000 leaving. So when they put down budgets for movies, did that include actors' salary?
Well, no, yeah, I mean, it normally would, but in this case, it was so low budget. Everyone, including us, the crew, everyone was just doing it for free because they wanted to just make a silly movie.
Credits and stuff. Gotcha. Okay.
Exactly. And so basically that money, that number is accurate. That is how much it costs to actually shoot the movie. Now, there are things that we got obviously for free, like the camera, which wasn't an extravagant camera. It was still shooting on mini DV at the time, but that camera we borrowed from a friend, so we didn't have to pay for a camera rental. We did the special effects, like I made the turkey myself based with special effects supplies that I had.
Wait.
Amazing.
Wait.
Yeah.
You literally sat and crafted that.
Yeah. Just the head.
Just the head.
The head, the body was made out of a hunting decoy that you would use for like target practice if you're hunting turkeys. And we just took turkey feathers from. It's like a styrofoam kind of like shell of a turkey, and I forget where we found that, but it was free. And then we just stuffed turkey feathers. We bought this bag of turkey feathers on eBay, and it came in literally like a plastic garbage bag, just stuffed. Clearly somebody had slaughtered a turkey and plucked it and just sold those feathers on eBay.
They'll sell anything on eBay, I swear.
Yeah.
You can. The tail span, like the actual sort of like array of feathers that's kind of fluffed out in the tail of the turkey. So we literally, it's a hunting decoy made out of foam. We stuffed the feathers into the body, and then the tail span we kind of stuck onto the butt of the foam. And then the head, that was a latex rubber, and that I sculpted made a mold and
that's really cool. That's some
thing. Yeah.
I have to say it didn't look computerized, but I didn't know how else you would do it, so I was very intrigued to ask. So thank you for answering that question.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And how hard was it to line up the words to the turkey's movement? And dude, this is high class. I wish we were doing a video podcast, because I'm literally moving my hand like that's Jordan's an idiot and can't understand the words. Like this, I need to stop. I'm gonna have another M&M. Everyone, go on, Jordan. Answer my question.
I was doing the puppeteering of the turkey as well on set, and that was part of the reason why my voice ended up being the turkey. So to answer your question, though, I was doing the voice of the turkey on set so that you could act with the actors. So it's a lot easier if you're actually saying the lines, even if you're going to replace them when you're puppeteering. You need somebody to perform the lines on set as much as possible.
Gotcha.
A lot of big puppet stuff, they actually, and we did this more in Thankskilling 3, and there's pictures of me, like behind the scenes pictures with this, but you actually put the microphone mounted on the puppeteer on their forehead or their thing, so that for this exact purpose, so that you're not trying to force lines into the mouth of the puppet later on, but you actually record the puppeteer's lines on set. And a lot of times they are the final voice actor in the case of like the Muppets, Jim Henson kind of stuff. But in our case, we're low budget, and so we just were probably using the camera's audio microphone to pick up my lines at the time. And then I did replace them later on, but it was basically just recreating what we had already done on set. But just doing maybe a better performance. And then we pitched it down a little bit and kind of did some audio effects to it so it doesn't sound completely like me.
Okay. I like his voice. It was hilarious. He's so gruff. He sounds like he's been doing like a 2-pack a day or something.
It's probably just me doing a Robert Englund impression or a Freddy Krueger. It's probably all that it is.
Trent, he's going to add that for 505 years. That's a lot of dust on your lungs.
That's right.
I'm going to add that fact to IMDb.
Yes.
You would do Freddy Krueger.
Yep.
By the way, I was like, oh my God, such a cute dog. Then I go, these fucking bastards. I was not loving you in that moment, Jordan.
Oh, when we killed Flashy.
Yeah, killed the dog.
No,
so pissed.
Unnecessary. I mean, I understand it because then that's the impetus for the hermit helping the kids and everything, and through the going through. But I was real. Couldn't you pick the cat?
Yeah.
Nobody cares. Cat dies.
That's true.
If Pet Cemetery has taught us anything, nobody really cares if the cat dies. We all still cry that Cujo died. All of us are like, the cat, whatever.
Yeah.
That's true. That was my childhood dog, actually. His name was Jake, and the collie. So he, but it was, yeah, he was awesome. I'm glad that we got to put him in the movie. He's not alive anymore, but he, it was funny because he had all these
age, right? Because you said childhood, and you're looking aged. No, I'm kidding.
He was, no, he was pretty. I don't remember how old he was, but he was just a big dog, and he just was always out running around. So it just wore him down, I think. But
yeah, as much as I don't like those little dogs, they do live longer.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the funny thing about getting him to do anything is obviously he's not a trained, actor dog. So he liked Oreos. That was like a snack that he liked. So we would have to, when he's like sniffing that little miniature totem pole and then he lifts his leg to pee on it, is literally we hid an Oreo behind the totem pole, and that's what he was like sniffing and biting at.
I'm
And
so in love with this dog right now. This is the best thing I've ever heard.
It's great. And then I lifted his leg. It looks really silly in the movie, actually, because I had to grab his hind leg to pull it up to pretend, because we couldn't get him to pee on cue. So I had to pull up his leg, and then I had a water bottle of like yellow water that I was just squirting to create that peeing on the totem pole effect.
You couldn't tell. It was seamless.
It was, yeah. You can tell there's a little blooper when when the hermit is walking to his hut early on in the movie and the dog is following him. You can see the hermit has like some foil in his hand, and that's a Wendy's Junior Bacon Cheeseburger wrapper that was used that Jake was following because he thought he was going to get a piece of it if he followed along. So we had all kinds of tricks to get the dog to
awesome.
Oreos and Wendy's, basically, I guess, are the tricks for getting low budget dog for
my spirit animal. That would work for me too.
I know, right?
Yeah. It probably, it works for all of them.
Or the piece of pizza, that'd be good.
Yeah.
I gotta say, of all the fast food places that put bacon on things, Wendy's does their bacon the best.
Wendy's does do it right.
Yeah. McDonald's, up your bacon game. All I'm gonna say.
Yep.
So you said that you used like places that you knew and that you had access to. So like the park and wooded scenes, was that like a local park that just let you shoot? Like, how did you get like those kind of sets?
The park where they're sort of like pushing each other on the swings, and that was just a local park near the high school where I went to, where I grew up. Most of the other locations, the woods or both of the homes, were the house that my dad lived in and another house that my mom lived in because they were separated. So we had two houses, and their backyards, their porches. We kind of interchanged sometimes where the exterior of one house was the interior of another, I think. But yeah, it was all family stuff or friends. One of the actors, Ryan, who plays Darren, the nerd character, we used his house some. And then the Jeep stuff, we just drove it all around the suburbs and out in the country in Ohio, and basically just took advantage of everything that we could. And nobody's asking questions or caring. You know, you get full permission to do whatever you want, pretty much.
Not like,
no one.
Like, they'd be like, "Do you have a permit for this?"
Right, exactly.
Yeah, we're very permit heavy here in New York as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So exactly. How long did it take you to write this script?
Well, Kevin wrote the majority of it, and I forget why at the time. It was not long though. I mean, don't kid yourselves. Thankskilling did not take a year of like blood, sweat, tears to write.
Redraft.
No, this is a one draft.
Shocked by what you're saying, Jordan. I thought Her Legs Are Harder to Close than the John Benet Ramsey case took years to master.
Oh, that's so wrong, but so funny. I mean, there was so much that was. I think that was a joke that I was. A couple friends, Brad and Tony and Grant were their names, and these are just college friends that we were joking around with all the time. And I think one of them came up with that line. And then I think it's 3. It's in there 3 times.
Oh, it's
3 times.
I
love that joke to death.
Yeah.
She says it twice, and the boys laugh, and then Darren butchers it the third.
Oh, okay. If you're counting okay, I didn't know you're counting the butchered time. The butchered time.
Yeah. Yeah. So the writing, it wasn't. I don't think it was that long. I would guess. I don't even remember. A couple months of Kevin write a draft. I work on it with them. We take a stab at it, pass it back and forth, have friends work on it. It was a collaborative, like, I mean, it was kind of a joke. It was more like an SNL skit, probably, or the way that it was put together. It wasn't this like, we weren't taking it seriously or ourselves very seriously during the process.
That's the beauty. Like, I love movies like this because you know what you are. and you're playing with it and you're having fun with it. I think that's what makes it funny, is that you're not trying to be this serious movie. I was cracking up, like I was not expecting to laugh. But like the funny parts are the parts where you were making jokes of yourself, like the turkey sitting there with the dad at the table. That's by far like my favorite scene. The turkey sitting there and he's like, she didn't tell me she had any midget friends, and then he's like, did you just say fuck it? And he's like, yeah, do you think midgets shouldn't say fuck it? And he's like, oh, how old are you? Yeah, he's like, how old are you? He's like, 510 years old. He's like, fuck it, you can say it then. I laughed.
But didn't even blink. You're the sheriff in town.
Right.
And somebody tells you you're 510 years old.
And then he's got the Groucho Marx glasses on, like he's disguising himself. And I'm sorry. It's so ridiculous. And then the turkey's like, well, this is awkward. I'm gonna go. Yep. It's like, okay. That scene, I was like, okay, this is hilarious.
Yeah, that was all improv too. A lot of it was actually that whole thing, and that
was all improv.
A lot of it was.
Oh,
I think the script maybe had the coffee, like where he says hazelnut.
Yeah, that was funny.
But the age of the fuck and that stuff was all Chuck. And then I was just, kind of playing off of him. But
oh my God.
It's funny because a lot of people, I mean, I love that scene. It's hilarious. And a lot of people like you, laugh when they talk about it and that they say it's their favorite scene. But when we filmed it, there was like a little audience because my family was around and some of the cast was there that they weren't in that scene, but they stuck around. And they were all in tears when it ended. So we knew the moment that we shot it, we're like, okay, this is probably, as I hope that the amount we're laughing right now will carry on, and it still does. So it was kind of like there at the genesis of it.
Yeah, that's amazing.
My favorite was when he goes, "Did you put shit in this coffee?"
Oh.
I did. I want a divorce, and I was like, I'm just an. I asked for my first divorce, gotta say. I was like,
That's maybe my favorite.
Marriage is going excellently.
I was like, oh Lord. I was like, that's.
I mean, that's a way to tell somebody you're out.
She would have her papers by the end of the day.
He was not broken up about it at all.
He just kept going. He was like, whatever. Oh, God.
That was.
Who was that individual? The sheriff, was that someone you knew?
No, the sheriff was Chuck Lamb, but he goes by Chuck, the dead body guy, Lamb.
Okay.
And Chuck is awesome, and he's a great story as well. But we kind of went to Ohio to start filming, and we didn't have all the cast members figured out. We were going to just cast, local actors or whoever we could find that was kind of a personality. And Ryan, who I went to high school with, so he was kind of a big help in getting everything going. He knew of this guy called the dead body guy. And what that means basically is that Chuck was not an actor. I think he worked in IT, maybe had made a career out of that, was born and raised or was living in Ohio, but he always wanted to be an actor. And he was watching CSI and a lot of these forensics shows. And he thought, well, I can't be one of the stars of these shows, but I could play the dead corpse. And so he had the idea of basically taking photos of himself as a dead guy and posting them online in making a website, pitching himself as the dead body guy to be I want to just be the dead guy in your movie or your TV show. And this was his way of then getting to be an actor. Awesome.
Yes.
And it kind of went viral and it became a big thing on the internet. And he got on the Today Show and all kinds of different TMZ and whatever. And so he happened to live 20 minutes away. So we found him and then this was the biggest role he had in terms of just the amount of lines that he had, because he wasn't just playing a dead guy. He had a speaking part. So that's how we found him, and he was awesome, and just was just a lot of fun to work with, and obviously was great as the sheriff. But yeah, that scene with the coffee pot is hilarious. It cracks me up. And I think it was supposed to be written to be inside of a police station, and this was his secretary that was quitting. And then when we couldn't get a police station, we were like, well, what if he just is a cop that works from the kitchen table, I guess, and it's his wife instead of his but I think it's because he says your stepmama left me, so this is the second divorce for him, actually. So who knows what happened the first time around.
Yeah, he's not having too much luck in the marriage department. Okay.
Yeah.
I can see why.
We don't know how his wife left him the first time around.
I was surprised that like she was his daughter. I was like, oh, that's her dad? Okay. And she was sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And where did you guys find the other actors?
So like the kids.
I went to high school with two of them. So Ryan Francis, who played the nerd, Darren, and Aaron Carlson, who played Billy, the hick.
Let's talk about Ryan Francis for a second.
Yeah.
He has been in a lot of stuff.
He did a bunch of little horror projects in different films and appearances and stuff after Thankskilling. He was an actor always.
Right. Even before Thankskilling, he did stuff. And I think he is a very he grew up nicely. He's an attractive man. I don't know, like I guess it was just the nerd look you guys gave him. I bought him as a nerd. I'm looking at him in this picture, and he could easily be in the cast of The Boys, and nobody would blink an eye. So that's all I'm saying about that.
Wait,
all right, go Ryan.
He's like, cool. Wait,
yeah, Ryan and we did a lot of theater in high school together. So again, it was a lot of hanging out and joking about this kind of stuff. And he and I would watch a lot of these terrible, so bad they're good horror films and go to the video store and rent that stuff. So when we had the idea to make this movie, excuse me, and we were going to go back to Ohio, Ryan was one of the first people I sent the script to and said, hey, one, would you want to be in it? And two, who do you think we could get to play some of these other parts? Who do we know that's still around and wanting to, be involved in movies in any way?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
He had the worst death, like pretty gruesome.
He gets the thermometer in the ass.
Yeah, the thermometer, and then his tongue gets pulled out, and then he just gets his heart pecked at. I was like,
that's right.
What did he do?
Yeah. That's right. He did.
I don't know if that's worse or turkey just going.
I was gonna say
the chest.
Turkey bust. I was gonna say including the turkey bust to the chest. I hadn't forgotten about that one. I still think Ryan got it the worst.
I mean, would you be willing to tell us how you did? Because I felt like the special effects, especially for that kill in particular, once again such a tiny budget, was really well executed. Could you, if you're able to, maybe shed a little light on how you accomplished that?
Sure, I can shed plenty of light on it. The chest one, the heart pecking
through chest. Yes,
through the chest.
Yes.
Yeah, Billy.
He ate the golden turkey. I guess so. Yeah. Turkey made himself look like a golden cartoon turkey, and he thought he was eating that, but he was actually eating turkey.
You're probably thinking about it too much already, but yeah.
I don't think the layers in this movie are that deep.
Right.
Yeah, it's yeah, exactly. More or less, sure. There's also a little bit of I don't know. But so the turkey. So Troy Smith, who did the special effects on set. I made the turkey head, but Troy did all of the like blood and prosthetic stuff. We found him on Craigslist, and he lived in Pennsylvania. Or I don't know if he was living in Pennsylvania now or at the time, or if he was still in Ohio. But he was kind of a local as well. And he responded and just said, "Yeah, I could help you guys out with some special effects." He went to a special effects school, so he kind of the Tom Savini School in Pittsburgh, Douglas School of the Arts, I think is what it's called. So anyways, he was there to help us with that. And that specific thing, so the first image you get of it like exploding out of the chest, we actually took this chest cavity that Troy had built, kind of this big wearable latex prosthetic that was like kind of sewn into a tank top. We took that out to a field out back at my dad's place and shot it with a shotgun. And to actually get the chest to explode open for it's only in there for just a split second in the movie. Yeah. And then the rest of it is I'm just kind of crouched down behind Aaron with the turkey coming through. It's shot in kind of a profile, so you can't see that I'm actually on his right side instead of it's not coming through. And then the close-ups are just this dummy chest with me coming through the center. So it wasn't actually that complicated. It was just kind of cheated, basically.
It looks really good. I thought the same thing when I saw it. I was like, that's actually some really good effects. I feel like you guys spent your budget very well.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I guess a lot of you're right. A lot of the money did just go towards whatever, whatever supplies Troy needed, which was not that much, but whatever Troy needed, gas for the cars, food. But yeah, special effects stuff it's a horror film, right? So you got to have some good kills.
So since you guys were all, go ahead, Alicia.
No, you go.
Oh, since you guys were all like friends, the vibe on set, was it like fun? Was everybody like having a good time? Did they all enjoy it? Because I feel like for it to come across that way, everyone does have to like be into horror and into that genre. Otherwise, they wouldn't get it. But I feel like everyone on the set got it and knew what they were doing and what kind of project they were involved in.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Everyone totally did. We all did have a great time. We only filmed for 11 days, so it wasn't very long that we were all together. But yes, exactly. Everyone knew exactly what they were in for, and we all got along great. I think the only times that anybody wasn't laughing and happy was just towards the end after everyone was just getting tired.
Yeah.
And working a lot of late nights, and some of the actors had to drive a little bit. It wasn't anything crazy, but still 45-minute drive at 2 a.m. is still not always what everyone wants to do. But
I'm an old lady. You couldn't get me to drive 2 minutes at night.
There you go.
I mean, we're getting close to my bedtime as it is. It's 7:30 here on the East Coast. Yeah. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
So the Pilgrim lady, the first lady to got. Where did you find her? Was she also a Craigslist acquisition?
Yes, that's exactly what she was.
I mean, her name alone.
We did not have that opening scene filmed in Ohio, and it was not. I forget what the original intent was, but it was something to do with, I think there was going to be kind of like a Native American ritual around a fire that was conjuring up a turkey spirit or something. We didn't film that because we couldn't afford a big, costume of any kind. So then we went back to Los Angeles. We were back in college now, taking classes and trying to edit Thankskilling together. And we were like, we need an opening scene. What if we have just some stupid kind of flashback of a pilgrim running through the woods chased by the killer turkey? And of course, it's a horror film. So, and if you're trying to riff on these horrible, cheesy ones that we've been talking about, all of those things have unnecessary nudity in them. So we kind of were like, well, can we be one of them if we don't find a way to make that work? So I think we just made a post on Craigslist saying like, need actor willing to be topless. And
willing to show their boob.
It's true. Oh my god.
And lo and behold, we got, I don't know if we may have only got one response, and it was Wanda Lust.
I'm sorry, that's
Wanda, we love you. Come off the show.
Well, she would probably love to.
Oh my god. Yes, next year.
To be fair, the turkey wasn't lying. Those were fantastic boobs. And they bounced with such fervence. Honestly, as a big-titted woman who refuses to run, My heart went out to Wanda. That had to hurt a little. I'm being honest. That had to hurt. I need 3 sports bras when I run, at a minimum, okay? You gotta strap down when you're running.
Oh, she was out
God
there.
bless her. She took one for the team, Jordan. She really did.
Yeah, she did.
Well, she
Cheers
did.
to her.
Cheers
Cheers
to
to
Wanda.
you,
'Cause
Wanda.
She was a trooper and just totally game. And again, just that same attitude of like, you know, you're at the end of the day, you're going out to go and shoot. We were filming in a public park. Because we didn't have a private wooded location at this point. So for her to go out and meet a couple of young guys and do this, she had some friends with her, but still.
Because I was gonna say, oh Lord,
it was very trusting. Yeah, I mean, I look back and think, gosh, like we got away with a lot of stuff that that we were just naive about. And you know, to be fair, but she was great and just had fun doing it. And she came back and made an appearance in the sequel in Thankskilling 3. And yeah, it was awesome. I'm glad that it worked out and that it was, you know, quite the experience actually filming it, because we're looking over our shoulders thinking we're going to get in trouble.
Yeah, right, for indecent exposure and all you like get tickets and
yes.
That was
like no one cared? Did anybody see you?
No one saw anything. No, there wasn't anyone really around. We picked a random time and day of the week to avoid anybody, but yeah, no one saw anything.
Now they're listening to this podcast going, what was that park?
Right.
They're coming for you now, Jordan. We apologize.
Right.
We apologize.
Yeah.
Our listenership of 27 people.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna find you. No.
One of them might be a park ranger. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. He's gonna be like, I knew it.
What was your favorite scene to film?
Favorite scene to film? I don't know. Probably something where I wasn't playing the turkey, because that is not comfortable. You're laying on concrete, or you're laying in the dirt or in the woods under a puppet. I have no idea what the shot looks like, or you know what's really going on, because I'm just laying down on the ground with a puppet on my arm. So I really liked filming the stuff. I mean, that scene, the best friend Billy like montage where they're pushing each other on the swings and stuff was hilarious.
Yeah.
And feeding each other ice cream.
Yeah. I liked that stuff, because I could actually just sit back and be a director and not a puppeteer and enjoy it a little bit more than being such a part of things in front of the camera. So I like those scenes were probably the most fun. Doesn't mean those are my favorite scenes after the fact, but the actual filming of it was certainly a little bit more enjoyable.
That song was great. The song that went along with the montage.
Yeah.
Whispering.
I thought it was so funny that they kept referring to themselves as the cool kids, because I'm like, oh, that joke's hysterical. I'm like, that's great.
The cool kids.
Not a single one of these bitches is cool, and that's fantastic.
I love the quote unquote the slutty girl. She was hilarious. She played her part so well. She was like, look at almost
as me. I'm like, sweetheart, no.
Yeah.
And then when Darren says something about reading a book, I'm dude, you the only one in this group that's ever read a book, Darren.
Yeah.
Billy's like,
you're working with here.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the prudish girl, but it was like Sweet Valley High. I mean,
yeah. The book stuff was that stuff was hilarious. And again, it was like we couldn't find a library, so we just put boxes in the garage filled with books, because that was it. That was the only option.
One scene of them just flipping, like nobody was actually reading. Flip through the
flipping pages with a light bulb or something.
Yeah, I was like, nobody's actually reading that. They're just flipping the book.
She's like, my father has a huge book collection. I'm sure he has something about killer turkeys. I'm like, bitch, I'm a mom with an actual huge book collection. Many of them by famous horror authors, and I can assure you, I have nothing about a killer turkey.
Yeah.
My son would be shit out of luck, because that's not a thing.
Yeah,
exactly.
Your father's book collection is pornos. I don't know what to tell you. And his law enforcement handbook, like.
But he did, and the math section, he was like, "It's math, but I could do it. I can do the math. I got this."
The book goes directly from like the paragraph straight into like some math form, some equation.
Like NASA math. I was like, wow, all right.
Right.
They also used this book in the movie Hidden Figures. And as far as like being the turkey, what was the hardest scene to film, like spatially, etc.? Because I would find that would probably be very awkward to try to puppeteer that turkey up into a car's seat.
Oh yeah, actually, yes.
Especially on top of a dead guy.
Yeah, the car was very difficult. Because to think about, if you have a puppet on your arm, you're limited to the 4 feet that you can pretend it actually moves, and you're trying to get focus to the thing, and you're trying to light to the puppet. So, which means that a lot of times then you're having to hold your arm in incredibly uncomfortable positions that it's harder than people think physically, like on the body. Like I got so much respect for professional puppeteers after making the Thankskilling movies, because that any little weight that you put on your hand and try to hold it straight up and then make it also talk and turn around and do this and that, you get worn out after 10 minutes of doing it. And so that car stuff was really hard because I had to walk up to the car door and then kind of hop inside and turn around, and it was like, none of it actually worked the way we wanted it to. But it looks funnier.
A whole new light, huh?
Yeah, wait, which one?
I said you watched Sesame Street in a whole new light. You're like,
pretty
wow.
Much, yeah, I do. I'm looking for where they cut the holes for Oscar, or like, oh wow, someone's inside of his trash can, or I'm thinking about how did Kermit go over it. I do think about puppet stuff completely differently now.
For the record, Cookie Monster is my spirit puppet.
Cookie Monster is great.
He's like my spirit of Sesame Street, and me and Miss Piggy, we are.
Cookie Monster had that.
Like 2 people, because you've got the one puppeteer doing this, and then you've got the puppeteer doing the arms. I actually took a puppeteering class because I did puppets for my church youth group. So I went to like a whole seminar thing, and we learned about the one puppet, and then you've got the arm puppet. So it's a lot of orchestrating going on with puppets.
Exactly.
Monster. It's a lot.
Exactly. It's like if you are puppeteering, if you're right-handed and you're puppeteering, well, I guess it can just depend, but usually, the puppeteer is controlling the mouth and the dominant hand that does more of the and then the other person is kind of providing the accent.
Oh, okay. See, that part I didn't.
Sometimes 2 hands, like you said, just depends on the size and what it needs to do, and because it's easier to match.
There's 2 people in that puppet.
Snuffleupagus.
Somebody smelling butt the whole day.
Oh God.
The guy who played Snuffleupagus, Michael Earl was his name. He's passed away recently, a few years ago, but he built some of the puppets for Thankskilling 3 actually. So that was super cool.
Very cool.
That's
There's
awesome.
a Snuffleupagus.
Have the coolest facts on your IMDb. I'm writing all these down. I love adding facts to IMDb. I'm adding the trivia. I'm writing all of this down. All right.
That was cool because I loved Sesame Street growing up. There was a Cookie Monster segment where it's this it's like a vegetable song that he sings, and you know that one where he's throwing vegetables up in the air, and there's all these vegetables on a blue background that are moving around. I've had it.
Is that you said this is a Sesame Street skit?
Yeah, it's a Sesame Street.
I'll have to look
Cookie Monster song. It's on YouTube. I found it recently, actually. But anyways, puppets. I love puppets.
YouTube page so people can know what he's talking about.
Yes. We add it to our YouTube. We have a playlist on YouTube where we add cool stuff. So, and I'm gonna put the Thankskilling trailer on there.
Yeah. Anything Muppet related, that's cool.
Do you want to do another Muppet? Would you work as a puppeteer again, or are you like, I had my experience, I'm over it, or are you now intrigued and you want to learn more about puppeteering?
And now, were you the turkey in Thankskilling 3 as well?
Yeah, I did the turkey again, in that one.
Because I saw there was a Kickstarter campaign. You got a better budget for Thankskilling 3, so I didn't know.
Yeah. We had, we did actually this time around. We're able to afford some other puppeteers and actors, but at that point, I was already now the turkey, so it would just be easier for me to do it than to
teach somebody else. Yeah,
you were the soul of the turkey at this point. Like, you're the stuffing. You can't just.
I was the stuffing to the That's.
You can't just pass that on.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, so are you like into puppeteering now, or?
I mean, I would love to do it. I mean, everything I've made a short film, a Critters short film. The last movie I made, The Headhunter, had puppets in them. So there's always, basically everything I've done has involved some kind of puppet, just not in the typical way that you would think of a puppet, like the turkey. Yeah. But yeah, I would love to actually do a straight up puppet movie. Again, at some point. They are very daunting. There's a million difficult things that when you're trying to make a Thankskilling type movie, it's okay to show the rods and the strings. And if you see a glimpse of the puppeteer or something ridiculous happens, or, it just looks really cheap, like that's okay, because that's part of the humor. But if you're trying for it to look a little bit more lifelike, that's where it just gets infinitely harder. Because you can't use those mistakes to your advantage, I guess, always.
Yeah, you can't just throw the turkey into radioactive liquid. It's not gonna.
The trash can, yeah, exactly. You can't do that.
Are you working on anything right now?
Yeah, I've been writing a lot this year. Just writing a bunch of new scripts and things. No, I haven't shot anything, or but there's a few things that I hope will take off next year. I don't know which will go first, but yeah, sadly not another Thankskilling, at least anytime soon. No.
And I read that the end where it said to be continued in space, you weren't even planning on doing a sequel, right?
Mm-mm.
You were just saying,
no.
It's like the Jason movies in space, so I figured that was like a play on that kind of thing. Yeah.
Exactly. It was a joke on that. Once a franchise is dried up, it goes to space. So like. Jason X probably being the most notorious. Leprechaun 4 did it. Critters 4 does it. Hellraiser, I forget which one.
Leprechaun is the best.
Which Leprechaun is the best?
No, they're all the best.
Oh yeah, I love. That's probably my favorite of the holiday slashers as well.
Yes. Well, and to be fair, it is the guy who does Leprechaun, whose name is escaping me. So if somebody could help me, you know what?
Warwick Davis.
Thank you. He's what makes those movies. I mean, he, just like Robert Englund makes Freddy.
Exactly.
He makes the Leprechaun. Like, you're like, he's great. I totally hang out with him. I don't even care. That he just wants his gold back. If you don't take his stuff, I'm sure he's perfectly lovely to hang out with. You'll hang
exactly.
out in Las Vegas, you'll go to a craps table together. It'll be great.
Yep.
I mean, sure, you can't take him to Disney World. He meets none of the height requirements, but it's fine.
Right, you're not going to any roller coasters anytime soon.
Neither does my 2-year-old, and I like him, so.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard him at all? Because he has been pitching a fit out there. I was afraid we could hear him.
Nope, can't hear him.
I haven't heard of
that. He has like a large blow-up bowling ball, but this week he thought it would be funny to throw it into the fans, the ceiling fans, and we warned him twice, and now we've taken the ball away.
Oh no.
So he's pitching a fit about it.
Oh. Jordan, what's your favorite horror movie villain? Like, what's your all-time favorite horror movie?
All-time favorite horror movie is Critters, which is actually just all-time favorite movie. Which it's not me saying that's what I think is the best movie ever made, but they're different things, right?
Your favorite movie, yeah.
Exactly, that's my favorite movie. It was the first movie that just had a huge impact on me as a kid that I would watch over and over, and that I would start to, as much as you could find at that point, search out trivia, like you like the IMDb trivia. I was killing to find any little thing about like the filmmakers behind the Critters films or any behind the scenes pictures or just where they filmed them. So it was the first time that I kind of went beyond the rule, beyond just watching a movie and started to think about, well, how did they make it and where was it made and what do they do with the movie once it's made and just all of that. So I was obsessed with the Critters films.
Actually horror that made you get into movie making in the first place.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Jordan, how old are you?
34.
Okay. Oh yeah. All right. Cool. For some reason, I thought I was like way older than you. I know I'm older than you, but I thought it was by more than that. But
no, thanks. Thankskilling. We made it when we were. It came out when we were 21 or 22, but we shot it when we were 20. Okay. So it's been a while. The release of it was in different. We released it on our own and sold DVDs out of our closet on our own, and then a year later it got distribution.
Everyone,
what?
Huh?
On Craigslist.
On Craigslist, yes.
Pretty much, yeah. Well, it was Amazon, but we probably sold a few Craigslist copies as well.
But so then, how did you get it on Amazon?
Well, you can put anything on Amazon. You just can, yeah.
Oh, like Prime Video, I mean.
Oh, Prime Video.
Yeah, well, not like selling on Amazon, like a Prime Video.
Oh, got it. Well, we first released it on our own, and by that I just mean I think we printed 1,000 DVDs and sold them on Amazon, the physical copies. And then about 6 months or a year later, a friend of ours was an intern at a distribution company called Gravitas Ventures, and they then picked up Thankskilling. We got in touch through him. They picked up Thankskilling as the distributor, and so then they've had it ever since then. And they're the ones that then put it on Netflix and ultimately on Tubi and Vudu and Amazon, like you said at the beginning.
That's pretty awesome.
So it started DIY, and then we got the help of a more traditional distributor after. So, which is kind of rare because a film usually doesn't build in its distribution. Like it comes out and that's it. And in our case, it escalated. It's
grown. I mean, it's kind of like a cult classic. Like we actually met Alicia and I met in a Shudder group, and I looked up the word Thankskilling in the group, and so many people talked about it. Like even
really?
Yeah, everyone's like, oh my god, I love this movie. Someone posted about it, and everybody was like, this is my favorite movie. I love Thankskilling. So it's becoming a cult classic among horror movie fans and people who love, especially this subgenre of horror, of the cheesy, terrible movies. It's becoming a favorite, especially because there's no other Thanksgiving movie. So horror fans, we want our Halloween movies, we want our Christmas movies, and now we have a Thanksgiving movie. So it fits a niche to where that hasn't really been filled. So that was actually a good plan on your part.
Yeah, we were surprised.
Any thought to the Easter Bunny movie?
Not since then, but at the time, I don't think we really gave much thought to it. Forget we had a title.
I'm putting my hat in the ring to play the Easter Bunny now.
I want to be in it.
Don a costume like nobody's business.
You want to do?
I'll be the stupid girl. I don't care. I just want to be in it.
Oh, I'd love to kill Jen.
Yes.
There you go,
Jordan.
You're already cast.
You guys an iPhone is a better camera than what we filmed Thankskilling on, and $3,500. You could open a credit card tomorrow, so there's nothing stopping you guys from going out and doing it.
He's like, I'm not doing it. It's like, you guys are welcome to.
I don't think you could. Thankskilling, maybe it was lightning in a bottle. But I wouldn't want to mess with. Like, I'm happy to have been a part of donating a film to the universe of bad horror schlock that I grew up loving, and I'm good enough to walk away from that now.
Wait, you mean you're not rolling in like hundreds of thousands of dollars from
from Thankskilling?
Thankskilling's not rolling in the cat. You're not getting residual checks just like every day.
No,
you had 2 watches today alone.
I know you've got at least like a nickel coming at you.
Right.
Don't you worry. anything currently in pop culture that you're really enjoying? Any movies that came out recently that are coming out that you're looking forward to?
Well, that's coming out. I mean, now everything's like been delayed. There was something that I was really excited about here soon, but I mean, I've been watching a lot of TV this past year. Ozark, I'm all caught up on. I love that. The Outsider on HBO. I thought that was
The
good.
Outsider was great. I love that book. I love Holly Gibney. She is probably one of my favorite Stephen King good guys.
She's a great and I actually want to. The show made me want to go read the book. So
and I will say that if you liked Holly as a character, the Mr. Mercedes series, and you can find that for free through Hoopla, through your library and stuff. Very well done. AT&T did it was the AT&T channel on DirecTV, and they did a great job with that series as well. Different people who play Holly, which I think was interesting. Especially because HBO pretty much owns the woman who played Holly because she's in Succession, so I don't know why they couldn't get her, but whatever. So that was Ozark. I gave up after.
Well, don't episode because I'm not caught up.
Where are you, Jen?
Let's see. Oh gosh, I don't even know how to describe where I'm at. How do you even describe on this show? Because it's such a heavy watch that I watch. I can't binge it. Like I can watch one episode and I'm like, whew. So
well, you know a Casino is coming?
No, I do not.
Okay. No, you do. That was the whole purpose of getting the church. That's season 1.
I might still be on season 1.
Okay. I believe I ended at season 2 then, and I won't say more than that. It was too heavy for me. There is something that happens at the end of season 2, and the main characters make a decision about it that in my soul I just couldn't move past. I'm like, you don't do that. That's not, no. And then it was just too much for me. And that's really hard for me because I've been loving Jason Bateman.
Oh my God.
Since the Hogan Family. I don't know if y'all remember. I felt so bad for him on Arrested Development to be the only normal person in a room. I love
Arrested Development so much.
He's the best.
Yeah. Oh wait, going back to Thankskilling. Jordan, was that your mom that was in it? Because I saw Jan Downey. Is that your mom?
Yeah, well, at the very end of the first one, when there's like a family around the table, that's my mom is there.
Yeah.
My brother Caleb is there wearing the hat. My stepdad Jeff is there. He's reading the poem, and then my aunt and uncle are there.
That's so cool.
On the other side, and then my stepsister's daughter Kayla is the little girl who's now not a little girl, but so basically, it was like
hysterical.
This was in August.
So you back into the boob, and then it ends with your family.
Yeah, I never thought about that way.
Yeah, you're like, hey, fam, want to be in this movie?
Yeah, they all thought it was hilarious too. I mean, they were in tears when they saw the finished thing. They thought it was hilarious. So nobody was shaming us for what we were doing.
But were you nervous for them to see that part, or were you like, whatever?
Probably a little, because it was like, this is now the transition between Jordan making home movies and now Jordan making a movie where there's a porn star in the opening scene, which has not become a thing. But I think they saw the humor in it and how ridiculous it is. So
so they weren't like offended or anything.
They saw it at the premiere, live, so they didn't know what was coming until they got it. I think I probably warned them, but
that's cool though. I like your family. That's awesome.
Yeah, they were. It was cool that they were a part of it. I'm trying to think what other things you were asking about other stuff I watched that. I mean, as far as movies that like sort of stand out as things that I've liked recently, I really liked this little indie film on Amazon called The Vast of Night. I don't know if you guys have seen that. And Shudder, the Mortuary Collection. I watched that on Halloween. I thought
that was good.
That was crazy.
Anthologies, very well made. Very well made.
That was the Incubus or whatever story, the girl demon who impregnates.
Yeah.
That was a little traumatizing. I was like, oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Alicia, did you watch that one?
I don't think I have.
Oh, okay, then I won't say anything. But yeah.
I don't feel the way you feel about spoilers, Jen.
Okay.
So we're on a completely different playing field.
Okay, it's fine.
I read the entire Wikipedia before watching Thankskilling.
Oh, God.
No. Like,
I could never. How do you feel about spoilers, Jordan?
I don't want them. Like I don't even, honestly, if I'm watching a trailer and I'm 10, 15 seconds in and I'm already know I'm a customer, I turn it off.
I'm like, I don't want to see it. Yeah. When like they're like, Endgame came out. Oh, I need to watch the trailer for Endgame. I was like, no, I don't. I'm gonna watch the movie. I don't want to see anything that's gonna happen. I don't care. Yeah. Like I'm going to watch the movie anyway. I don't need a trailer. I need a trailer if I don't know if I want to watch the movie. And then, like you said, once I know I want to watch it, I don't need to see the rest of the trailer. Because especially now, trailers give away so much of the movie. You almost feel like you've already seen the movie. Because they give you so much information, and you're like, well, that would have been cool to just find out while I was watching the movie instead of seeing it in the trailer.
I agree. Yeah, I'd much rather have the pure, as much as possible, experience of experiencing it for the first time, blind. I mean, some of the best movie viewing experiences I've had are the ones that you go into completely blind, or you've only had like a still image or a log line or something very simple, and then you just go in, and those are the best.
One of my only experiences with that was Napoleon Dynamite. I had never heard of it. I had zero idea what it was about. My friends were just like, we're going to go see Napoleon Dynamite. I seriously thought it was going to be like some artsy, feel-good movie. And I was like, whatever. And we went. And when it started, I was like, what are we watching? And then he like throws the little action figure out the window with the string. And I was cracking up. I was like, I'm ready for this. And I was not disappointed. It was hilarious. I wore that movie out. But yes, I like going in not knowing anything.
Yeah, exactly. And then I'll watch, and then I love after I've seen something, then it's like the reverse effect where I want to just consume everything I can. Any behind the scenes stuff, any stories, trailers, then I start to dissect trailers and study how they marketed it, and I go all out. But a lot of times, like you said too, it's like I'll watch a trailer and determine I don't want to necessarily watch the movie, and the trailer has, in that sense, done its job, I guess.
Yeah. Whatever that job may be, it's done.
Right. But yeah.
Let's see, who's one of your favorite directors? Like, do you like the classics like Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween?
Oh yeah.
All the big ones.
Yeah. John Carpenter's for sure a favorite. Wes Craven, of course. Favorite, I would say, growing up, and probably, I don't think this has changed, but Paul Verhoeven is my favorite director, because I was just so obsessed with RoboCop and Starship Troopers and Total Recall. And he was the first guy that like I actually then started to go back and watch other films from that director rather than just watching the film, but seeking out a movie based on who directed it.
Yeah.
David Cronenberg. More recent guys, I love Jeff Nichols and Take Shelter in Mud and Shotgun Stories are awesome. Midnight Special. Jeremy Saulnier, Blue Ruins, one of my favorite movies of recent years. Green Room is awesome. All kinds of. I kind of watch anything and everything, to be honest. But of course, the genre guys, of course, John Carpenter and Wes Craven are also up there. They just there was a lot of stuff that they just had such a huge impact on me, even as a kid, even without what's amazing about those guys, I feel like, is that you don't even have to have seen their movies to have seen images from their movies. And that's how I feel like growing up. Like I always knew, oh, that's a that's whatever. That's from Village of the Damned, or that's from Shocker, or this is from People Under the Stairs. But I had not seen the movies, but I was totally sold on what the tone was and on what the images and the visuals were from those movies because of the strength of the marketing and just like how those guys like came up with these single shots that were so powerful that you almost felt like you had seen the film without actually having seen it. And you don't see that as much now, where it's kind of like that one image seared into your mind the way that those guys' films always were.
Iconic. Like there's nobody iconic, yeah.
I think Ari Aster is getting to that. Like his movies, I would say, like
totally.
Ari Aster.
Okay.
Midsommar, Hereditary.
Yeah,
I think there are very specific scenes from those movies. You've seen both of them, Jen?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So especially Midsommar, just the scene of her completely made up as the May Queen.
Flower, yeah.
All the flowers against that stark, beautiful Nordic white backdrop. I mean, at least for me personally, that movie is so amazing on the senses. And that to me, yeah, I would say he's one of the newer ones that's doing that. But I agree. I don't think although Blumhouse is putting out some interesting stuff, I think you could, but I agree. I'm not sure that if I saw a specific still, I could say specifically which Blumhouse production, but I think I could say Blumhouse. They do have a specific look as well.
I think, like, I'll watch Blumhouse just because it's Blumhouse, but I think they're trying to be, like, top-notch horror, but they're not quite there yet. But I still I go in it knowing that, like, oh, it's going to be something cheesy, and, like, I enjoy them, but I think that they're taking themselves more seriously than their audience is right now. And I want them to, get to that point where they're, like, where you're like, oh, my God, if it's Blumhouse, it's going to be legit scary. Like, I'm like, they're always right there. All their movies, like, the concepts, like Truth or Dare, the concepts are great, and then the execution, it just kind of falls a little bit to where you enjoy it, but you're not like, I can't sleep after watching that. Like Hereditary, I was like, I had to watch a cartoon. What? You haven't seen it?
No.
I had to watch a cartoon when I had to talk to my brother on the phone. We both went to the theater to see it, and I had to.
This is what I keep hearing.
What?
This is what I keep hearing from everyone.
Yeah, I had to talk to him on the phone while I was driving home, and then when I got home, I had to put on like Tiny Toon Adventures. So I was like, I can't have any of that in my head while I'm trying to go to sleep in the dark. It was pretty. Jordan, have you seen it or Midsommar?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen all those.
Hereditary. There is something to do with a child, right?
Oh
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That might be
have any little ones yet?
What?
Jordan.
No.
I will say, being a mom, I was fine. I mean, I watched Orphan Like a Champ, the whole like anything, fine. Now, any movie with a kid, I'm done. I'm out. Like, it's a much different watch for me. Really can't watch the original Pet Sematary because my kid looks like it. You've seen it.
I was just gonna say you've watched Pet. I was gonna say that.
Does my son look like Gage?
Yes, I thought he was Gage when you sent me that picture.
Yeah, it's real legit. So it hits a little differently, and I definitely want to watch it because I did like Midsommar, and I do love the way he films. I just think 2020's not been a great year. I want to be in a little bit more of a happy place before watching that, or else that might just tilt me. But I definitely want to see it. I just keep putting it off because I don't know why, but I do.
Yeah.
It's not even for the reason that I'm cheap. At least that I can justify. But it's for free on Amazon Prime, so I don't really know what I'm doing. And I do love Toni Collette, so it's not even that.
Amazing in that. She's amazing in that movie.
Yeah, that's what everyone tells me. Okay, it's on my list. I'll do it this week. Oh no, I've got three Black Christmases to watch.
Oh, God, yes, you do.
That is.
Oh, you haven't seen any of them?
No, we haven't. Now we're doing them for the show.
Oh, okay. I've only seen actually the original, but I was going to say start.
In 2007. I've not seen the latest one.
Yeah,
but 2007 is the hardest one to find.
That one was a little traumatizing. I remember that. I blocked out why it was traumatizing, but I remember seeing it and being like, I don't ever want to watch this again. But I will, because I'm doing it for the show. But I was like, this is disturbing. So we'll see. Maybe it's not as bad as I remember.
Yeah. I mean, it has Leighton Meister, and I'll watch anything with my B. So, my queen. Love her. Jordan probably wasn't a Gossip Girls fan, so he has no clue what I'm talking about.
I don't either, because I was not a Gossip Girls fan.
Oh, Leighton Meister plays in Black 2007, okay. And she plays Blair Waldorf, Queen Bee on Gossip Girl.
Okay.
I was a big Gigi fan. I'm a New Yorker. I had to watch it. It's in the bylaws or something. I don't know. That and Sex and the City. They still haven't given me my summons for not watching it, but I'm sure it's coming any day.
I do like that show.
Yeah.
It's like if you live in Jersey, you have to watch The Sopranos and Boardwalk Empire, or they're going to give you a little summons.
Right.
Oh. So I loved... I'm sorry, back to your movie, Thankskilling.
That's okay.
Keep thinking of other things that I wanted to say. The music for the intro, like the whole intro of the credits, I thought that was well done.
Yeah.
The music, the graphics, I was like, wow, that actually gives it like a real legit
it tricks you into think you're getting something bigger and better than you are.
It's a lie, but it's great.
Yeah, the music was awesome. It was by Kashmir Royale. His artist name. But my brother Mike was working with a bunch of different musicians in Denver at the time, and one of the artists he was working with was Kashmir, and Kashmir is great at making beats and all kinds of really cool music, but he had never really done a film score, but he loves horror. And so he kind of just sat down and like locked him, and we were like, well, we need some music for this low budget film. Would you be interested in doing it? And he kind of locked himself in, just listened to a bunch of John Carpenter and a bunch of horror themes to kind of get into the spirit. And he came back with the Thankskilling theme, and it's amazing. I mean, for that, the movie probably doesn't deserve it. Honestly, it's very good. And I'm a huge fan of film music, especially the horror themes that we all can sort of hum and remember, and how important that is to a horror film, and how much that horror movies have gotten away from that. So it was really cool to have that. And then the title sequence, I think, was a friend who we knew at the time that just was good with After Effects and visual effects software, and he just threw it together for us kind of as a favor.
It was very
but it is cool. It is cool. Still to this day, it actually is fun to watch and listen to.
I want to use. Can you send us that music so we can put it as an intro for this episode? Because that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I think it's on YouTube too. So if you have a ripper or something, but if not, I can dig up an MP3 or something and send it to you guys.
I don't know, anything else?
I have asked all my questions.
Wow.
Do you have anything?
No, I mean, thank you guys for having me, and I'm happy to talk about this anytime. You know, I look back on Thankskilling with nothing but fond memories, so it's fun to.
So you're saying next year we can have you on for Thankskilling 3?
Wait, why did I skip 2? Is there not a 2? Is it just go to 3?
There's not a 2, exactly.
That's so funny.
There's not a 2.
I was like, because before this, I was like, where's Thankskilling 2? And then, okay, all right, there you go.
Thankskilling 2, and that we just, we didn't want, yes, the end of the first one, like you brought up earlier, says to be continued in space. But we didn't, once it actually came time years after the fact, we were like, well, we don't want to just make the exact thing that we now kind of said we were going to do. And so we had the idea of, mostly it came out of just sort of like the same spirit of making the first, which is do something bold and do something different that no one else is doing, and take a chance on doing something that maybe you wouldn't get an opportunity to do later on, and just go out with friends and have fun. And that was the spirit behind the idea of, well, why not just skip to part 3?
That is amazing.
And that's, and so there is no 2.
I was like, why is everybody skipping 2? It's like everyone keeps saying Thankskilling 3. I was like, what about part 2?
Yeah. Part 2 is a part of the plot of part 3. So it kind of makes sense when you watch the movie. Thankskilling 2 was in space. It just, we didn't shoot that movie.
That's amazing. No, that
somebody else did.
That's hilarious. Because I was definitely like, no one's talking about part 2. All right, well, there you go.
Yeah. So
the things we teach you on this show, Jen.
I know. I learn something new every day.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it was great.
Thank you, guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy early Thanksgiving, and
yeah,
hopefully everyone can gather the family around and
our favorite flavor of pie before we end.
Our favorite flavor of pie.
Oh, sure.
For Thanksgiving?
Anything, Jen. Any pie you want.
Okay.
Do you know what I recently learned?
What?
My husband and I had a whole 20-minute discussion. Difference between a tart and a pie.
Yes, we did talk about this.
Oh, okay. Pie, crust on top and bottom. Tart, bottom only. Just let this inform your choices today, folks.
Okay. Jordan, do you have yours yet?
Yeah.
Jordan had his ready. Go ahead, Jordan.
Peanut butter pie. That was always my favorite.
Once again, peanut butter pie, based on the definitions I just gave you, is actually a tart. Try again.
Wait.
Yeah, actually, you're right. It is a whipped cream top. There is no crust.
Yeah.
Okay, so a crust version, pecan pie. Well, no, that's the tart then.
Oh, that's tart too. It gets
You're all about the tart.
Tricky once you get the real. No. Peanut butter is a very good answer. We support it. We like it. Jen?
That sounds amazing. I would have to say apple. I like apple pie.
Now, do you like an apple or an apple crumb?
Either one, as long as there's apple inside. I'm good. With some vanilla ice cream.
Yeah, we're very spoiled here on Long Island. We have several apple orchards, so in the fall I always go pick some fresh and make. For Thanksgiving, for this time of year, it is an apple. But back into the tart family. Love a nice chocolate mousse pie.
Oh, see, yeah, if we're talking tarts, I'd go cheesecake for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cheesecake is good too. All I've been doing is watching all the holiday baking shows. You guys watch? Watch them, guys. It's great. So if you already have an eating problem. And I think that's all. Jordan, any lasting thoughts? Anything you want to share before we say goodnight?
No. I think we've covered it all. I got nothing left.
Jordan,
Yeah.
where can our listeners find you?
You can find me at my website, jordan-downey.com. There's, a lot of little information about the movies I've made on there, or Twitter and Instagram at Jordan Downey. Yeah.
You guys know you can find us at Horror and Heels on everything. As we just mentioned, the next 2 weeks we will be talking about Black Christmas. If you didn't listen to us speaking with Matt and Drew over at the Post Credit Podcast, go ahead and give that a listen. We talk about what, Jem?
13 Ghosts.
13 Ghosts with them, and they will be on for the 2007 and 2018 showing of Black Christmas. So we're going to do the original first, and then team up with them for the next 2 movies. So drop us a line, and if you have anything you'd like us to answer about those movies, go ahead and drop us an email. And if you have any other questions, comments, concerns, you want to tell me that I shouldn't have eaten a whole bag of M&Ms during this podcast, please feel free. As all, have a great weekend, and we will talk to you next week. Bye.
Later.